Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good evening to everyone. It's Kai and Greg Hayes here, your Elite Pro 8 leader out of Austin, Texas. We are excited and we hope that you are excited as well because we're kicking off our very first product-focused Zoom call to provide you guys, our special friends and business partners from the Philippines market, our fantastic health information directly from our LifeVantage Medical Advisory Board, who's one of the most sought speakers, by the way, Elite Pro 7, Dr. Gene De Lucia. And we basically invited him to have an exclusive time with us tonight in order for us to get the right information, the right and updated medical peer reviews and getting the right answers to your questions for today. Basically, find out the truth. Okay, so buckle up because we're going to take a deep dive on what we have in our hands to learn more about the most extraordinary therapeutic breakthrough discovery in the history of medicine. So we're going to find out and discover how truly blessed and fortunate we all are, to be in front of this 21st century medicine. Always, I quoted Dr. Gene De Lucia. He always says that, and I truly believe in that. The 21st century medicine before the world knows it, you guys. So that's right, Nrf2 activation, along with Nrf1 and NAD, and why the world needs to take a hard look at this and start popping these pills into our mouth, right? Guys, we are in the new era of innovation. So we must all adapt ourselves into this changing world, or we're going to be left behind. So as we all know, the world is wounded and we're all looking for a way to stay healthy and live longer, to be one of the to be with the ones that we love the most. And that said, we have found the key to slowing down our aging process, and nobody has what we have, by the way. So seriously, do we keep this a secret? I don't think so, right? So here's the topic for Thursday Zoom tonight. Number one, we are going to hear Dr. Gene's brief story, of course, why he went nuts about Protandim and later quit his practice and began leading us along with thousands of medical doctors at LifeVantage, and how he became an elite leader and now a current medical advisory board. And why network marketing? A doctor? Are you kidding me? And why LifeVantage? And then secondly, we're going to talk about our life-changing products, the 3 theories of aging, which the world needs to know right now. And for me, it's the second to fountain of youth. Quote me, whatever. And then the third is why we all need to take this tri-synergizer, its benefits, and the true value in our lives if we take it. And then we should open up Q&A for everyone, okay? So without further ado, I'm honored to introduce to you this amazing human being Greg and I are blessed to know. He is our go-to person in terms of health information, as he has extensive knowledge in our products. And as a servant leader, he helped numerous business partners, you guys, and customers globally. So I'm very excited to work side by side with this brilliant doctor who is highly respected, not only in his community, but in our entire LifeVantage family. In addition, Dr. Gene De Lucia is an internal medicine with 45 years of experience in the medical space. Gene lives in Tampa, Florida, enjoying his precious family, building his LifeVantage business. So it's all on you now, Dr. Gene. Take it away.
Thank you, Kai, and thank you for inviting me. I know it's early here and late there. So let me tell you a little bit about me. I've been in medicine, I didn't want to say this, 46 years. And about the first 30 years of that, my medical career, I was a Western medicine practitioner. So I was a pill pusher. You know, in Western medicine, we wait till you get the disease and then we treat the endpoints. That's where we make it's about a $4 trillion a year industry in this country. And that's how we make all our money. We don't want you healthy because there's no money in that. We don't want you dead. We want you somewhere in between. And then you're an annuity for the medical community and medical industry. And this is a disease care industry, not a healthcare industry. So I was having fun with medicine. I thought I was doing a great job, but as I was getting older and my patients were getting older, I found myself pushing more and more pills on people, treating more and more symptoms and numbers, because that's all we do. We wait till you get the disease, we treat a number, we treat a symptom. And if you have a side effect from the drug, we don't take you off the drug, we just add another drug. So I was getting very frustrated. It was happening to me. I was aging. I was up to 4 meds I'd been on for several years. And quite frankly, a buddy of mine came to me, same age almost as I was, a car dealer. And he says, look, let's go find a way to do something better. He found an anti-aging seminar out in Las Vegas, and we went to it. And this was for me about 16 years ago. So I joined the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, and I started taking their courses and said, wow, this is a better way, because we actually started looking for the cause of disease in aging, not treating an endpoint. So I really started learning more and more, and it made sense to me. Understand, when we are young, we're healthy, we're growing, we're reproducing our cells and making new cells, good, healthy copies of those cells. But once we stop growing, we start aging. We never sit still. So we started aging in our 20s. We don't notice it that early, but it really starts to rear its ugly head about 40 years old. You start to feel it and know it. And you start to say, I can't do the things I used to do. And trust me, for you young people, it gets worse every decade. So I was looking actively. Mother Nature, we're only here on Earth for one reason, to reproduce our species. And once we're past that prime reproduction age, we start to, Mother Nature wants us out of here. So she accelerates our aging by dropping all our hormones and all our enzymes down, accelerates our aging and accelerates the disease process. I don't like that. I don't like that model. We started doing things to raise everything back up. So we were doing things like bioidentical hormone replacements. Women go through menopause, men go through andropause. Everything goes down. We start to age. We start to get more and more diseases. So, what happens? We want to raise everything back up to youthful level. And we were giving hormones to people, not chemical versions. We got some okay results, but I knew it wasn't the only answer. There were other things to do, and obviously lifestyle. But I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction. And about 12 years ago, I had my 28-year-old UPS driver came in to my office after trying several times to get past my front office. And he came in and he had his laptop with me, and he goes, I just want you to watch this short video. And I said, what is it? And he goes, it was done by ABC News. And it was done on Protandim. It was a product that was developed at the University of Colorado, patented, proven to lower something called oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. And it was proven to lower it in everyone. They measured people all the way up to 80 years old. And within 30 days, they were down to the level of a child, a newborn, when we are our healthiest. So when I saw that, my first thought was, gee, this might be what we're looking for, but it almost sounds too good to be true. That was my first thought. But I did go home. I actually bought a bottle of it from him because I said, well, I want to try it. I went home and started looking at the research behind it. There were 2 published medical studies. There are now 28 published medical studies, most of those independent of the company, on the Nrf2 product. And there were 2 patents. I think we now have 7 patents with several pending. So when I read through the patents and the studies, it took me about a week to really look through it. I went back and said, yeah, I want this. I want it for my friends and my family, my parents. That's who I thought about. So that's why I got involved in the company. I honestly didn't know the marketing strategy or care. I had 3 clinics. I was working 60-hour weeks. I certainly didn't need another job or the money. So that's not why I got into it. But I started seeing results in myself and my family. I brought it into my clinic. And I started measuring everybody. I did all their lab work, everything I could measure, inflammatory markers, hemoglobin A1Cs, everything I could measure. I measured their blood pressure, everything. When they started, I did it at 6 months. I did it a year. Everybody improved. Everybody. I mean, 100% of the people, myself included. Within a year, I was off all my meds, and I was taking my patients off of theirs. So for the first time in my career in medicine, I was seeing, can I say this? Don't put this out there. I've seen reversal of the damage, people getting healthier. And I was going, wow, this is something. Well, long story short, I did join the company. It's the only way I could get the product. So I end up on the medical advisory board of the company. I was one of the early doctors in the company, and I actually did some clinical research for the company. So I started to see this in after a while, thousands of people. And I'm going, wow, this is a huge breakthrough. And it is a huge breakthrough. In fact, Washington State University has a published study done on NRF2 activation, and they call this the biggest breakthrough therapeutically and preventatively in the history of medicine. That's a bold statement, but it is true. So we can lower oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is cellular damage. It's why we age, but it's also linked to every disease process. So you can get in our government website. It's called pubmed.gov. That's the NIH maintains that website. And right now it has about 35 million published medical studies. And you can put in oxidative stress. You'll see thousands and tens of thousands of studies. You can put in oxidative stress in cancer. There's over 25,000 published studies linking oxidative stress in cancer. Any disease, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, there's thousands to tens of thousands of studies linking that oxidative stress to any disease process. And you can do it for yourself. So I just started getting more and more impressed with what we have. It changed the way I practice medicine. So for the first time I could reverse the damage, I was actually getting to the core of the problem. That oxidation resultant inflammation is the core. So, and by the way, Protandim Nrf2 has patents to lower all those. Patents to lower something called CRP, which is a inflammatory marker in our body. So very impressive. Now, since then, this company is the world's leader in nutrigenomics using natural products, natural synergistic herbal blends to essentially make us healthier, to lengthen our lifespan and our health span. Now we have other pathways, and there's different pathways of cellular damage, of aging, of disease. That first pathway, the NRF2 pathway, is what we call an antioxidant detoxification pathway. So we can use that NRF2, which is a protein messenger, now we know to about 500 of our genes, turning those genes or re-regulating those genes back to our youthful level. And when we do that, we start to turn those genes back on to do what they did essentially when we were kids. And it was to help protect and repair ourselves. So it's great. It raises our antioxidant enzymes back to our youthful level. Because you can go buy, and this is not a vitamin or a supplement. We're not supplementing things. This is not a direct antioxidant. Direct antioxidants like vitamin C, vitamin E, we've always tried to take, and they're just not effective enough. The problem is, say I take my 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. It breaks into molecules. Each molecule will bind one free radical. Free radicals are what causes the oxidative damage. And it's eliminated within a couple hours from waste. As waste from our body. So there's two problems with that. The first, it's not there 24 hours a day protecting ourselves from damage. And the second, it's not powerful enough. It's like throwing a cup of water on a house fire, because that 1-to-1 ratio only binds a few free radicals to eliminate them. We have trillions of free radicals. We want to turn on our body's ability to get rid of them as we did when we were children. So when we turn on our body's ability to make our own antioxidant enzymes, they bind up millions and millions of free radicals every second of every day, 24 hours a day. It's much, much more powerful. It's nothing, there's nothing else out there like it. So it's a breakthrough in medicine. It is what Kai mentioned, 21st century medicine, because for the first time we can reverse the damage in every cell. So we've developed other pathways. The next pathway is the NRF1 pathway, and that's different protein messenger to different sets of genes. And that protein messenger turns on our ability to, one, get rid of damaged mitochondria. Mitochondria are little powerhouses in all our cells. They make our energy. But that free radical damage damages those mitochondria. They become less and less effective as we age. It's part of the aging process. And we just don't make new ones as well as we used to when we were younger. This turns our ability back on to make those new mitochondria and get rid of the damaged old mitochondria. So it's another pathway to better health. They now have a third pathway, and those are that's a pathway called sirtuins. Sirtuins are different protein messengers to different genes. And in our bodies, in humans, we have 7 different sirtuins. And that's turned on by a coenzyme called NAD. NAD turns on that sirtuin activity. The way they discovered sirtuins is back in the 1990s, there was a group of scientists, actually at MIT, and they started taking 2 sets of mice, and they starved 1 set of mice. They gave them a very calorie-restricted diet. And those mice, they found, live longer because they turned on this sirtuin activity. So they started looking for different sirtuins. Those sirtuins do things like longevity, help us live healthier and longer, affect and improve our vascular system, our brains. They turn on something called autophagy. Autophagy is our body's ability to clean out damaged proteins and damaged cells in our body that cause more damage and inflammation. So it's a huge, huge breakthrough. And I think Kai and Greg can share a graph with you when we put these 3 pathways together, because we have 3 different protandims now, the Nrf2, the Nrf1, and the NAD. They work synergistically together, and we actually have patents pending on those too. We get a much greater effect than if you were just to take one or the other of those pathways. So they're made to take together, thus our tri-synergizer. It's hugely important, hugely impactful. I started somebody on one last week, and the guy called me up the next day because this turns on, increases sirtuin activity by 100% in 24 hours. He calls me up the next day, he goes, oh my gosh, I can think clearer. I've got energy. I mean, the guy was so excited. So it's fun to see that with time, we start to see progressive improvement. There it is. So you can see the Nrf2, if you take it, increases production of all these different gene activities. And you see that stacked together, the tri-synergizer, and how much more effective they are 3 together. That's why I always recommend people take the tri-synergizer pack. So it's hugely important. The business end of this, I did not know anything about. I really didn't care. I certainly didn't have time to do anything else. Because originally this company, when they came up with the Protandim Nrf2, they had patented the proprietary blend. The scientists had gotten enough money together to put up a small manufacturing plant, and they tried to get this out to the retail store shelves, like our pharmacies, like Rite Aid and Rexall and CVS and GNC. And the problem with it was it sat there with 10,000 other bottles of vitamins and supplements, and the clerk didn't know anything about gene activation or any of those things, so nobody bought it. Nobody explained what it was, nobody bought it. And these were scientists, they weren't business people, so they really didn't have a clue. Well, it went from 2005 to 2009, retail losing money. It was only about a $3 million a year company. They were losing money. 2009, they took it off the market. They were actually going to sell the patents. And Dr. McCord told me this, who was the scientist who put together Protandim Nrf2. He said 2 companies, one of the big pharmaceutical giants wanted to buy this and bury it. And he said, no, this is way too important, because the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want us healthy. And we won't take their drugs in. The other company who wanted to buy it was a company called MonaV. MonaV was a super juice. It was a direct antioxidant. It was acai berry, but it was sold in a different business model. It was sold direct, word of mouth marketing, direct marketing. So the scientists said, well, let's give that a try. Let's get this in people's hands. They get results, they'll tell each other. So they did. They took it off retail store shelves in 2009. They brought it out directly marketed. It went from a $3 million company in 2009 to a $12 million company in 2010. One product in one country. It is now a $250 million company, but it will be a multi-billion-dollar company, because this is unlike anything else in the world. We have exclusive patented worldwide distribution rights. We are now in over 20 countries. We now have multitude of products. we continue to develop more products. So I'm on their science advisory board now, and I get to participate in the development of those products. So it's really neat to be part of this company. It's fun to see where we started and where we're going to, and where we're going to be in the future. But I can tell you, Protandim will be a worldwide, everyday household name someday, and it's fun to be part of. So, what else can I say? Kai, do you have questions for me?
Yes, yes, yes. Wow, fantastic, Doc. This is amazing. You know, I always get giddy up, and they know this. I get so passionate about this whenever I stand up in front of the room, because how can you not, right? How can you not? So, folks, that's it. You have a little glimpse of, you haven't even seen the big picture. Dr. Gene De Lucia was just warming up, right? If we have all the time here, we could not stop talking about this great discovery. The 3 theories of aging, you guys, we all got it. So we never have to search for any anti-aging antioxidants or vitamins anymore. So we're going to open this for Q&A, because some of you guys already are taking this, have been taking this for about 30 days, 60 days, 90 days even. If some of you wants to share some testimonies as well, Beth, I'd like you to also share some testimonies, and you know, even Mess, some of our people there. But Cecile, feel free to jump in if you need to, and Terry has a lot of probably things to share a little bit, so that we can definitely you know, kind of collaborate and make that, and validate the science behind this, validate that this is one of the greatest medical breakthrough discovery that seriously people should be taking a look at. I mean, stop using all those antioxidants, the Me Too products, that's truly confusing people, and it's also a waste of money. We have seen many people, Dr. Gene, in the Philippines for a very short period of time, sometimes 2 days, 4 days, literally. You know, we have Bobby Joseph, the owner of Ralph's Liquor chain, and he had a stage 4 cancer, and really don't go to the bathroom for 5 months. Literally, it's just pure water. And we can't believe it. Greg and I can't believe it, because after 2 days, he called up his upline, Cynthia Norton, and he said, Cynthia, 2 days, I was able to go to the bathroom. Oh my God, that's life-changing. So unmute yourselves, or type in, if you're very shy, type in your questions, because this is the chance for us to truly, if you are kind of like having those questions in your or even doubts in your mind, let's set it out here, because we have the expert to provide you the information, the proper information. Unmute yourself or type it in on the comment section below. Greg and I will facilitate the questions.
Yes. Hi, good evening from Manila.
Hi.
Anyway, yes, I was just wondering, because I have been taking Protandim. I finished actually a whole bottle already, and then I'm also taking another one, and NRF, is that NRF2 or NRF1? It's supposed to help the mitochondria, something like that. But well, I haven't seen any change. Sorry, no, I haven't observed any change, no, in my system. So I was just wondering, like, how does Protandim really work on the body of a person?
Let me tell you what I tell my patients, and everybody, as a matter of fact. Just as we don't damage overnight and we don't age overnight, we don't repair overnight. Some people will get a wow effect. Some people, it takes some time. And for I have my son on this, who's 33. He's healthy, but we understand, and he understands, that this is for him preventative. So because of the science out there, we have a published study done by our federal government, the National Institute on Aging, which is a branch of our National Institute of Health, paid for and published that the Protandim Nrf2 lengthens lifespan in all mammals. So that's kind of neat. So for people that are healthy otherwise, I tell them this is more prevention than anything. For people that have issues that are of age, I ask everybody to give this 6 months. Now, most people feel it within 2 or 3 months and see it change, but understand our bodies repair turnover or further damage all our cells in an average of every 3 to 6 months. All our cells are turned over. Now, our bones take longer, our skin's a little quicker, but in general, it's about every 6 months. So I do tell people, give it some time, let your body turn over at least one time, because instead of turning over a more damaged copy, as we repair all these cells, we're turning over a better copy, essentially reversing that damage. So that's why we see such improvement in every process in your body. But it does take time. So be patient. It's not like taking an aspirin for your headache. So be patient with if you're healthy otherwise, know that it's protecting you, because as Washington State says, this is also the biggest preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine, as well as therapeutic. So if you have issues, yeah, it progressively reverses the issues. If you don't, it's preventative. So I personally, I don't like aging or disease. I've refused to do either. So that's why we do what we do. So, and that's why this is such a huge breakthrough. So know that you're on the right things. The science is there. The science is proven. Stick with it. Stay with it.
Right, right. That was really good. Because if you don't do this, if people don't activate as early as now, the earliest time they have, they are going to age very, very fast, because they don't have the protection from the relentless attack of toxic chemicals that we produce every single day, by the way. So thank you very much, Doctor.
And think about this. Why does everybody get very passionate about this when they get involved? Because they see changes in their lives and their family and their friends. That's why we're all very passionate about it. So it's exciting. It's exciting to be part of.
Very exciting. Ning Ning, do you have a question again?
My question, like, how long an observation should I do before I realize whether Protandim is really working on me or not?
Okay. Understand, first of all, it works on everyone. It's not selective. Whether you feel it or not could be one, how healthy you are, your age. There's a whole lot of factors that go into it. But the science behind this is that it works 100% of the time. So it is working for you, maybe just as a preventative. But I ask everybody 6 months. Please give it 6 months.
6 months.
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to hear. Like, maybe after taking it for 6 months, still I do not observe any improvement. I am, by the way, turning 75 years old.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah.
So you're pretty healthy. For you, we want to lengthen your lifespan and your health span. That's why my 33-year-old son, he's healthy, but I want him to stay that way, and I want him to live to be, well, you know, there's no set age that we die. Yeah, 120, 130. My personal goal is 130. I'm only very early age myself. So that's why I had to ask this question, like, what's that observation period? Like, if I don't, you know, if I don't see any improvement, perhaps I can just say I'll stop this. You know? Well, this is what I tell people. Take it as long as you want to be healthy. If you don't want to age at the rate we're aging, if you don't want to get diseases down the road, take it. Science is science. That's what I tell people.
What does NAD stand for? NAD?
Well, that is a coenzyme. That's called nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. If you want to know, you can look it up. But that's a coenzyme, and that switches on 7 of our protein messengers called sirtuins. And those sirtuins go to all different genes that turn on different genes, longevity genes, genes that help our cardiovascular system, our brain, genes that regulate our cholesterol, genes that regulate our what we call our autophagy, our body's ability to clean itself out. It's very, very significant.
What is it again? It's I didn't get it totally. The NAD. It means what is it again?
Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. You probably need to look it up on.
You can Google that. Yeah,
you can Google it.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I want to Google it. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
Google it, the
asking for what
NAD.
it
Yeah.
stands for.
So what
Yeah,
it stands
because
for.
yeah, I am a dietitian and I'm very rather I'm not an easy person to convince regarding
Good.
supplements, you know, because
I wasn't
there's so
either.
many out there in the market. Yeah,
Sure. I was
there's
a
so many.
I was a skeptic. I said, this sounds too good to be true. Once I saw the science, and now that I've done the science, I'm going, yeah, this is a big deal. This truly is the biggest breakthrough in the history of medicine. That's why I'm involved. It certainly didn't need another job, and I certainly didn't need the money. But it did, by the way, I retired within 3 years. It replaced my income. I retired to trading hours for dollars, and I was burnt out on Western medicine, and it gave me a passion for medicine again. So that's why I love it. By the way, there's a brand new study, independent of our company, done by Auburn University on our NAD, okay? And they did a study on cholesterol, and they showed that it lowered our LDL and total cholesterol. It's an interesting study. It just came out last week.
Right,
So
and I send it to them,
yeah,
Dr. Gene.
yeah,
I got that. Yeah, that was phenomenal. I immediately sent that out to our groups. From Annabelle, my friend took Protandim. She has diabetes, and she called me saying she improved, meaning to say she improved the markers. And there's also a question here, Doc. A friend wants to get pregnant. Will this help? Will this help people to get pregnant?
Okay, I don't treat infertility anymore. I do have a doctor out of Canada that's his specialty is infertility. Every one of his patients gets put on Trisynergizer, and he's had great success with it. So I can only anecdotally tell you, for him, it's working great. It makes sense, and I haven't tried to get anybody pregnant in a long time. So
yeah, I've heard so many testimonies from our LifeVantage family about getting pregnant, and actually even during pregnancy. But don't quote me on this. It's so hard because we are not a medical drug category. That's the reason why we cannot claim that we can cure, treat diseases. We're not drugs. You know, if you are having a headache, you take the drugs. There you go. Your headache is gone in an hour or two. But this is not a drug, okay? This is like potentially just living a quality of life. I have another question here, Doc, from Kat. I have a client who has colon cancer stage 3. What's the recommended dosage? Oops. And another has Alzheimer's, female, 70 years old. So recommended dosage. That always a confusion. Such a confusion.
Yeah, and it's not dosage. I tell people to take it every day. I know people, and we don't treat diseases, so I can't tell you for her colon cancer or Alzheimer's. So we don't treat diseases. We can make people healthier, and we want to do that. So that's really what we want to do. We want to turn your body's ability on to be healthy, to repair what they can repair. I do tell people this: if you have kidney issues, if we can catch it on the way down, they do pretty well. If you've lost your kidney, you're on dialysis, we can't make you a new kidney. Someday with stem cells and some other therapies, that I believe that will come along, but we don't do those things. We want to be able to make people's ability turn on their own body's ability to heal themselves, and that's our goal. So I don't give dosage. As I said, this is not a drug. We don't treat diseases. We want to treat health. We want to keep you healthy and hopefully restore your health and hopefully live a lot longer, healthier lives. That's really what we want to do.
That's what we want to achieve. Okay, from Lisa Coroliga, and then I'm going to go on to you, Mes. What is the longest study done on Protandim?
Well, the longest study was the original study, and that was done back in the early 2000s. I believe that study was 2001, 2002, that original study showing that it lowered oxidative stress. 2003, I believe that's when it came out. You can look on PubMed and see the date on it. That was the original study on Protandim Nrf2. Since then, there are many studies. Almost all the studies, all the disease process studies are independent. We don't do those. There's a very significant heart study. It was done by the American Heart Association, and it was published in their journal. We had nothing to do with that. There's 3 cancer studies done at LSU. We don't have anything to do with those. So they do those. They publish them. They're completely independent of our company. They're very positive studies. They're very interesting to see. So I love it that we have independent institutions and universities studying our products, not the ingredients. That's huge. Nobody has that. Not even the drug companies have that. So I think it's pretty neat.
Mess, do you have a question?
Yes, I just want to share something. Okay, I'm 67 years old and I joined Life on Taste last year, exactly 1 year, April. So after 3 months, within to 6 months, I felt the difference already, the changes. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have an autoimmune disease. My immune system is attacking my healthy joints. So it's really hard. Every time I always have like pain, like 4 to 5 every time. But lately, I was not complaining. I'm not complaining anymore. But also with my dizziness, it's gone, and my blood pressure medicine. But one thing really that is so exciting, my daughter and my son-in-law has been together for 11 years, and they never had to do birth control or something.
Oh.
And last 2 weeks ago, they're pregnant.
Oh,
Because
congratulations.
another story that I've heard numerous stories. I can't believe this is happening in our team.
because,
Congratulations, Mess.
yeah, they were taking
Oh my
Protandim. Woo!
Unmute yourself, please.
Okay, with the 1 and 2, I guess 1 and 2 is good to take for the rest of our lives. But is it necessary to take NAD the rest of our lives, or is 1 and 2 more important? I'm taking NAD now, and so is my daughter. But what I'm saying is, do we need to include NAD, or can we just take it just to say 6 months or a year, and then maybe stop NAD for a while taking the 1 and 2?
Well,
what is your
you saw that graph that Greg put up, all three together. All three together. There it is. So when you see Tri-Synergizer, you see how much more effective it is. I want to have as much effect on my gene activation as possible. So would I ever get off these? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because why would I increase by 40% or 50% or 60% when I can increase by 800% or 200%? I want to activate everything maximally. My whole goal is to live healthy and long. I don't want diseases, and I don't want to age. And so this is the best thing I've ever found. And trust me, I'm an anti-aging specialist. I look every day for long periods of time. I go to anti-aging conventions. I want to know the latest and greatest things. This is the latest and greatest. And I've been doing this a long time. So I love what we have. You can see there taking them together is more effective than just taking one or the other of those. So yes, I will take them forever. I tell people take these. People ask me all the time, how long should I take this? And I tell them, as long as you want to be healthy. So personally,
you recommend that NAD be taken all three. You
see the difference on this graph, the Tri-Synergizer, how much more effective it is. We have patents pending on the Tri-Synergizer together because it's so unique. There's nothing else out there like it. And this activator, this NAD, there's other ones out there. They're not nearly as effective. And there's studies showing that. So we have the best. We have something that exclusive to us, to our company, and exclusive to us if we're in the business too. Nobody else has this. So trust me, this will be an everyday household name worldwide one day. The anti-aging specialists, what I call our 21st century doctors, are just starting to talk about NRF2 and NAD. I haven't even heard them mention NRF1 yet. So they're forward-thinking doctors, but we're on the cutting edge. We're on the cutting edge of 21st century medicine. That's what I love about it. That's why I do this.
Beth, go ahead.
I'd just like to share, I'm a breast cancer survivor, and I've known this Protandim for 8 years now. Well, it was my choice also with my oncologist that I stopped my meds during my treatment, well, after chemo because of the side effects that I was having. And I told her when I tried the product for like a month, And I saw the improvements in me. So I told her this is the product that I want to take. So she asked me to see her every 3 months for a year. And then after that, every 6 months for another year. And after that, a year every year. So annually. So I said this might be doing something because this was the only product I was taking. I wasn't taking anything. And after 5 years, I was, we wouldn't say, right, Dr. Gene, that this can cure and prevent any diseases. But after 5 years, I was declared cancer-free. So I would say that this product really did something for me. And to top that, the cancer that I had was genetic. So it can just manifest anytime. The people that I was with, their cancer went back, metastasized somewhere else. And me, until now, I'm still good. So I've been in this product
Wow.
for long. Not only that, my children, because remember, my cancer is genetic. So I might have passed on those genes to my children. And for me to ensure that they have healthy and good genes, good cells, right? My children has been taking this product, and they've been, I as a mom feel that they are healthy, no? That I can pass on that good healthy genes now to them, not that, cancer genes, right? And also I have a group in the Philippines, it's called Project Blessing. And we've been helping people. Right now we have 18 people that we've been helping. Some has end-stage dialysis, some has cancer, some has diabetes and hypertension and all that. And 100% of them has greatly improved. We're not saying that they will be cured, especially those going through end-stage dialysis, but 100% had an improvement. They have a better quality of life. That's what we're saying. We're not saying that, the cancer will be gone and all that, but now they're functioning as a mom. They're going out, they're doing their chores. The quality of their life has greatly improved. So that's what we are really sharing with everybody. And that's the passion I have too.
Good, excellent. And you're right, Beth. It's absolutely true. It's so much fun to see people, their lives change. And that's really why I do it too. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And also my mom, she had a massive stroke at the age of 86. And she was bedridden for 4 months. She couldn't eat, talk, or even move. And right now, my mom's going to be 94.
Wow.
She plays mahjong every day.
Excellent.
And yeah, she remembers the time she was here 20 years ago. So I would say that my mom is a living proof that our products really work. Some would take it faster, the improvements that we want in ourselves. Sometimes it's faster. Some will take,
time.
Yeah, it takes time, but it's surely working inside you.
Doc, can you imagine? We are actually changing people's lives who are already kind of like sick, like sometimes to the max. How much more if people who are healthy right now, just like our children, of course, are activated, right, Beth? Because we love them. We want them to not wait until they're sick and realize that they needed to take this. So can you imagine, guys, this is not for sick people. This is not a medical drug. This is for people who are even healthy. Let them take it. If they're 10, 15 years old, even heck, babies can even take this. Dr. McCord's, apo or what do you call that, grandson actually was taking this. Okay, autism. It helps people who has autism, and this is a banned substances control group certified. So, I mean, Doc, you even what can you say about even Greg? I know that we cannot, mitigate diseases and all that. But what is your call, or what is your I want to hear your feedback. You see, because Greg had a stage 3 brain cancer, right? And the oncologist decided to have the approach of stage 4. But the reason being is that there is no cure for stage 3 brain cancer. During that time, he was 55 years old. And so reluctantly we did. He started taking the chemotherapy until 5 months, until I saw this the video of Dr. McCord, validating that, chemotherapy patients needed to take this Protandim, and they even saw greater results. And so I said to him, let's just stop the chemo. We're not going to do this 12 months because I'm afraid they might kill him. He might be overdosing. So I took the risk. This is just our call. And so I told Greg, I'm going to put you on Nrf2 activation therapy. We're not going to take anything. And Greg, he loves taking burgers. There's no other protocol, no diet, no nothing. He just eats whatever he wants to eat. And then he took, well, this is just, again, our decision. He took six Protandim, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 2 in the evening. Voila, after 6 months, doc, he sat down on his MRI. The doctor sat down on his MRI results. And of course, he did radiation, 45 days radiation, but nothing. We didn't continue the chemo. And he sat down there and he said, is squeaky clean, cancer-free, little to no scarring in the brain, and leaky vessels healed so fast, which is unusual, he said. And the reason being is that, of course, there's 20% that was embedded in his brain because they didn't take out the whole entire 100%. 80% was just taken off because it was embedded in his brain. It might, affect his speech and memory. So what is your observation about that? What happened? Like, truly, there is something miraculous about Protandim, right?
Absolutely. So my first question is, what did his doctor attribute all that to?
What did he say? Well, he said,
it's a miracle. This is what I hear all the time. Oh my gosh, it's a miracle. With the
I know, he would say. And then even we offered it, like, he was mad at us because he said, oh, I noticed you didn't take the chemotherapy. Doc, I said, you doubled the you doubled the chemotherapy strength, and I'm not. You said there is no cure, there's no guarantee, no assurance, 25% assurance, and I'm gonna take the chemo. I don't think so, doc. It's our own prerogative because 25% at his age, there's no cure. Given all those things that the doctor told us, we made our evaluation and said, no, and you're double dosing him after the 6 months. He said, you're gonna take double dose. And I said, no. And I just double dosed my Nrf2, triple doses. And after 6 months, dang it, he was surprised, but he's not interested to hear about it, sadly.
No, and it's so satisfying to hear people get healthy again. Now, I don't ever claim we can cure you, ever. We don't do that. We don't cure diseases. We just want to make you healthier. Let your body heal itself. That's what I tell people. We're turning on our body's ability to heal itself. And that's really the best. Our body knows better than we know. Drugs don't work that well. Certainly, other things we do. Treat your body well. Greg, don't eat the crap. Eat the good, healthy stuff.
We're gonna probably have the last question. Ning Ning, if you still have some question, go ahead.
Well, I was hoping there would be some kind of markers to show if there is really improvement. For example, let's say after taking all of this for 6 months, maybe I'm gonna have a blood test, or maybe I should have. Well, I did have my blood test just recently. And then perhaps what? Can I compare it after 6 months if there's improvement? Because my uric acid tends to be high. And then sometimes my cholesterol goes a little high too. Perhaps can there be can this be used as markers? Will I see improvement in this, in my blood chemistry after let's say 6 months of taking Protandim? That's one. And then the next thing is, maybe I need to know the ingredients that is in this capsules or tablets, and then understand how they work inside our body to convince myself that I should continue taking everything. My daughter actually has been pushing me to take this for the past years. No?
Let me tell you what we did. When I brought this into my clinic, this was almost 12 years ago. When I started my patients, I measured everything I could. Their cholesterol, their inflammatory markers, diabetes, liver, kidney function, blood pressure. I measured everything I could because I was skeptical. I was doubt. I'm prove it to me. I wanted to prove it to myself. So I measured everybody as they started on it, and I did it to myself and my family too. And I measured it again in 6 months. I measured it 1 year. Everybody improved. So I tell people, yeah, measure. Even doesn't matter how you feel. You might be young and healthy, but if you have issues, measure them. And by the way, uric acid we measure in everyone. It's an inflammatory marker. If it's high, you have more inflammation. We measure a lot of those things. We do what we call an HSCRP. We do a SED rates. We measure inflammatory markers in everyone. We measure all kinds of everything I can measure that the insurance companies would pay for, we measured. And it proved to me what we had. I eventually did this for the company. I did clinical research for them. So that's what we have. Yes, the science is there. This is not testimonials. This is science. That's what attracted me. So
I love it.
Yeah,
it's not the testimony, it's the science that we have. And how many medical doctors do we have right now, Dr. Gene De Lucia?
Well, when I got in, I was the first medical doctor. We had a chiropractor in.
Oh,
but I was
doctor
that I got in. Now we have about 2,500 medical professionals in of all types. Because of the science. They see the science and they go, wow. And trust me, there is nothing else out there that has science like this does. Nothing. So that's what's exciting to me.
We are so fortunate. We're so blessed.
You know, for me, Ning Ning, I just wanted to let you know that after taking Protandim for 1.5 months, I had my blood test and everything went down. My cholesterol, my uric acid, everything went down.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Mitzi.
I'm home in Lucena. I was mobile for a while, so I was just listening to all of you. And I'm home now. I am actually very, very much impressed by all the positive testimonies. And I still have to wait for Minda, who has been taking it for 2 weeks, and Ning Ning for a month, and see the effects on them. But then I don't know, Ning Ning, if you would still have a need for this medicine, perhaps. I have been taking Celergen, and I told Cecile that, no? And Celergen is like daily, and we've been taking it for 8 years now. I give to my husband, I give to my 2 sons. And before I took Celergen, which is really, that's an advanced Swiss approved another nutritional dietary supplement. And it has a lot of rejuvenative properties and how do you call this? Rejuvenative and regenerative properties. And I was wondering whether there would still be a need to take Protandim, or.
I tell people, look at the published science. That's what I tell people. These are not supplements. This is 1,000,000 times as powerful. We're activating our bodies. These are activators. This is a whole new branch of medicine. So I did like a lot of people did. You'd hear something, you'd read something, someone would tell you something, you go buy it. You took it for 3 months or so, didn't do anything, so you put it in your drawer and did something else. I did that for years because I was looking for better health. Once I found this and understood the science behind it, and it took me a while. It took me a year to really be convinced that this was what it said it was. Even though there was science behind it, I wanted to see for myself too. So that's really where I started. But that was, gosh, that's been almost 12 years ago. So I know what we have now. These are activators. They are not supplements of any sort. Yes, if you want to take a supplement, and I take some things, as I said, like omega, like melatonin, like vitamin D. Yeah, I do take those, absolutely. Yeah. But this is, by far the best thing. Well, it is, by far. And its science is there. Look at the science. As a scientist, I'm a skeptic. I love testimonials. I've got to see science. And that's really where I started. I went, wow. And now I've done some of the science, so I know what it does. So it's pretty neat. It's unlike anything on the planet. So yeah, look at the science behind it. That's what I tell people.
That's why we call it the breakthrough technology. Yeah, Mitzi, the one that you were taking is just classified as categorized as a antioxidants. And we are here above. We are called the forefront of nutrigenomics because antioxidants is basically putting something in your body, But ours is activating what's in our body. We have a blueprint in our body. The genes that we needed to activate when we were 20 years old, that we had just shut down that pathway to release that. Protandim is just opening up the pathways. And then the source of our antioxidants coming from inside, natural God-given antioxidant enzymes, natural God-given mitochondria, and natural God-given sirtuins is just now activated. The gates have opened. The code has been unlocked. Unlike the antioxidants, Synergen, all this, you sign up, put something, a synthetic in your body, boom, boom, boom. And once you're taking 30 supplementations, and guess what? Not all of those tablets are going to be absorbed by your body. Definitely 10, 20% is going to sit in your lower colon, and there you go. It becomes toxic chemical. People get colon cancer. That's how it is. We are not going to intoxicate our bodies with putting something inside. Let's just activate what's inside and repair that damage of our cells. That's the beauty of this technology. When you understand this.
Protandim has been there for the past 8 years. Did you say 8 years now?
No, the NRF2 was actually came out on the market in 2005. That was the original, the NRF2. The other ones have come since then. The NAD we've had for only a little while. So, but the NRF2 has been out there for a long time. There are now chemical copies of NRF2. If you look at Biogen, a huge pharmaceutical giant, they have an MS drug. Well, it originally was an MS drug, but it's an NRF2 copy, okay? But it's a chemical. So rather than $50 a month, it's $5,000 a month. And unfortunately, because it's chemical, it's got a lot of chemical side effects, liver damage,
Yes.
bone marrow suppression. And they paid for a study comparing Protandim. Protandim was over twice as effective with no side effects, obviously. It's herbal. So that becomes a no-brainer. Why would I use that drug when we have something natural that's more effective, that's infinitely cheaper without any side effects? It's kind of, I go, why would you even take it? Now that drug's been approved for psoriasis and they're going for approval for Parkinson's. Because it's an NRF2 activator, they understand it'll work. It just has so many side effects. They've made billions of dollars off of that drug, by the way. So they do understand, the drug companies do understand what it is, but they can't make any money off of natural things. They want to patent it. They want to take the active ingredient, patent it, and of course, sell it. That's how they make their trillions of dollars. So yeah, look at the science. That's it had to convince me scientifically. That's really where I started too. I was a skeptic. I thought, yeah, this can't be that good. Now I know it is. Now I know it is. So
I could probably give it a try. Yeah, okay, because I'm due for my next order.
Yes, Christian?
Yes, I just have to tell everyone, I've been taking all the products for over 6 years, and I'm not a doctor, but I will tell you this. In my family and my friend circle alone, my mother died from ulcerative colitis. My whole family, everyone has that. I started taking this product, and in all I can say is I don't take any medication. And in 8 months, my doctor called me and said, Christiane, you tricked me. You're taking some medication. I go, oh, doctor, you know me. I don't like to take pharmaceuticals, if at all possible. And he said, well, I tested your cells. You don't even have inflammation in your cells. You have no more ulcerative colitis. And that was like 5 years ago. And I don't have it to this day because I take the Tri-Synergizer every day. My husband in Boston, a top cardiologist, he had left ventricle heart failure.
Yeah.
She came out of the surgery, took off her mask, which she probably shouldn't have done, she said later. And she said, I've never seen this before. He's a 62-year-old man. His arteries are as clear as I've ever seen. And if they weren't, he wouldn't be alive today because anything impeding his blood flow with this condition, he would be dead. I have 9 customers who take the products and said, gee, I don't know if I don't really have a lot of money. Should I put my money in this? Well, out of those 9 customers, 4 no longer have colitis. 2 of them have gotten off of their diabetes drugs.
Wow.
And I'm just telling you, and my customers are going around talking to people saying, you must take this. I'm 62 and I have more energy and more health than all my friends in their 30s. I'm just going to tell you, if you do anything, take the Tri-Synergizer every day. You are going to be amazed.
Amen.
I just had to say that. I'm sorry.
Dr. Gene,
All right,
thank you for
thank
that
you.
wonderful testimony. What can you say about that, Dr. Gene? Just
That's
into your head, huh?
I hear it all the time. I love it. That's why I'm so passionate about it. I have people come back to me and go, wow, I've got my life back. And that's why I do this. I certainly didn't need another job or the money. But yeah, that's why I do what I do. That's why I still see patients, because it's so rewarding now. And it was so frustrating before. So it's hugely rewarding. So
This is a great invitation, doctor, for all of us to become a health crusader, right?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to change the world.